Hello. Thank you for joining us at Firehouse Art Center. We're a small nonprofit art gallery located in downtown Longmont on the corner of 4th and Kaufman. This is our live stream gallery walkthrough for Second Friday. We have a new exhibit that we are showcasing. The exhibit's name is Bright. And we will be having an in-person Second Friday happening at 6:30. So this is the outside of our space, Firehouse Art Center. We exhibit around 12 exhibits every year. We also have art education for children and adults. And we provide a space for 2 artist residencies throughout the year. One in summer and one in winter. My name is Elaine Waterman. I'm the executive director here, and I'm going to take you on a walk into the gallery, and we are going to talk to our curator, Brandy Coons, who's going to introduce you to the art and the artists of Bright. So coming into the space, and as you can see, this is our main gallery. And we're going to start with Brandy Coons and Alex Peterson's work.
Hi, welcome to our exhibition Bright. It's a show that focuses on the use of color by contemporary artists in a range of mediums. The first artist to your right at the entrance is Alex Peterson. He is a 2D artist who works in acrylics on MDF board and paper. These works are an exploration of consumer culture using this very bright kind of focus marketed color scheme and a combination of man-made and organic elements, which is really engaging and has some tension to it, some humor, and that play of 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional. Alex is unable to join us tonight because he lives in Wisconsin, where he teaches at a university. We found out about his work because he applied to our annual open call, which is actually open right now. If you are a fine artist interested in exhibiting, please feel free to check us out on callforentry.org. Thank you. We're going to move on. This is work by a textile and weaving artist, Stephen Frost, who is based here in Boulder. We were super psyched to have 4 pieces of his to show. And so I wanted to introduce Stephen by asking you kind of an open-ended, why weaving? Why textiles?
Why textiles?
Yes, let's
talk about that process. When you think about the ways in which we interact with everyday objects, for me, textiles are so important because they have this intricate relationship with the body, right? And I think that for the history of art, we're always representing the body, right? Mm-hmm. But textiles are these things that are about touch, feel, memory. And so that's why I specifically work with textiles, because they have that very visceral work. And I mean, part of it too is that as a textile artist, you sort of have to come to terms with the fact that maybe unlike other things, like other types of art, people are just going to touch it when they come in the gallery. And I kind of want that. I kind of want the audience, I don't want to encourage it, but I do think it's okay for the audience to have that feeling of like understanding almost emotionally what's going on in the work.
And there seems to be, there's a story behind each of your pieces. And I love hearing about that there's a particular reason that you've chosen each pattern, each format, each set of colors. Mm-hmm. You actually, in color in particular, when we were talking about planning this show, you had a story that you told me from your undergrad days about your appreciation and approach to color. Can you tell us that story?
Yeah, I absolutely can. When I was in undergrad, I took a painting class with an artist. His name is Kevin Wickstead. I will say his name. I love Kevin. He's awesome. We're still friends. Kevin challenged us in this class we were doing figure drawings, figure paintings, And so we had to prepare a bunch of canvases because we were going to do live painting, right? Which is terrifying when I was like a 20-year-old artist and at art school and everybody's so talented. I was so scared. But he told us that we had to have a non-white canvas to start with. Couldn't be black, couldn't be white. So we had to pick what our neutral tone was to start with, right? And that really changed something in my brain where I was like, you know what, that's white as the starting point is just a construct.
Yeah.
So maybe instead we should start from somewhere else. And so I was really thinking about the cultural, colors that have different cultural significance. And at the time, and to this day, I love pink. So often I usually start many of my compositions, but not all of them, especially when I'm working more formally, with pink as like the warp, or a bright color as the warp. And for me, that's sort of like a way of sort of just conceptually and formally fighting against these sort of like ways in which things are, our culture is constructed.
Right. You're sort of changing the middle, like moving the scale a little bit. I love that.
Yeah, and it helps us have maybe different conversations when we move from this starting point. When we move that starting point to somewhere else, then we can have maybe a more interesting, more complex conversation.
Love it. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. Okay, let's just, as she's going, review these two pieces. Could you tell us their titles?
Oh, yes.
And their brief description.
And I always have these really convoluted titles. This is a monument to Patrick and Todd, who for being on the cheerleading team when I was afraid to. And this is all of my middle school colors. Actually, Todd's mom complimented me on it on your post on Facebook. And I was like, it's about your son! and this piece over here is called I'm Here to, I Need New Friends, I believe is the name of this piece, or It's Time to Make New Friends. And I titled that piece because I think this is a very formal exploration of color and pattern. And I think, like I said, I have these very distinct love relationships with specific colors. And in this piece, I was trying to find new color combinations and new dynamics by using texture and different colors that I wasn't always the most comfortable with. I was at a residency, so when you're at a residency, you're like, okay,
it's time to play.
I'm breaking out of my box. Nice. And so that's kind of where this piece started from.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
there is a fourth piece of Stephen's in the show on that side, which has its own amazing story. If we have time, we might be able to circle back, but we're going to go ahead and move on.
Cool, I'll be here. Thanks so much for having me.
This is CHARIS FLESHNER.
Hello.
Also a Colorado artist based in Fort Collins.
Loveland.
Loveland. Excellent. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Tell us, I just kind of fell in love with these forms, and in particular, the story of how they came about. Could you tell us a little bit what these shapes are and mean to you and their inspiration?
Yes. I grew up at sea level, and so when I moved to higher altitude, one of the things, just being an artist and a visual person, that amazed me is the intensity of the shadows that we get here in the altitude and with the sunlight. And I was just mesmerized then. It's like I discovered shadows all over again. And I sometimes struggle with anxiety, and so I started to see the shadows as like little grounding points. And then I started to anthropomorphize them. You know, every time I walked by a certain shadow that was always kind of there for me, and just be like, oh, good job, little friend. And the more I thought about it, the more I longed to be able to bond with those shadows and help people sort of experience them the way I experience them, as almost vibrant creatures and these living things, because that's what they were to me.
Awesome. I do particularly want to draw attention, for anybody who can't come see it in person, to these details, little nubbins on these characters. As Elaine is filming, to get a look at those. CHARIS, can you tell us how those are made? What are they made of?
Yeah, the textures it's acrylic paint mixed with modeling medium, so it comes out a lot thicker than normal acrylic paint was, and I squeeze it through cake decorating supplies to make the interesting textures. And it's really interesting what Stephen was saying about wanting viewers to at least feel that tension of wanting to touch things. that's something we have in common. I kind of love the idea that the textures and the forms make you want to touch them. So like he was saying, I won't be mad if you just can't help but poke one of them. That's okay.
Well, we do have to admit that our plan for installing the work had to change because of COVID. They're meant to be in a pile and experience very viscerally, that you're able to kind of hug them and hang out.
Yeah.
I do like that this still, it feels like it still kind of does them justice, really in a big way, because of the fact that they are such engaging shapes and that they are kind of in their own pile. It's like, it still gives you that impression of the stuffed animals on your bed, that they have this very personal personality to them.
Yeah, and they all have different personalities to me. Like that guy's a goofball, class clown. He's got to show up and do a headstand over there. Yeah, I call them the shapes because I didn't want to put a specific name to them. We all have different associations with certain names, whether they're good or bad. So I call them the shapes so that people can hopefully develop their own kind of relationship with them and kind of project their own personality to each shape.
And I did want to also point out before we thank you and move on, these are absurdly affordable.
Yes.
If you wanted to take a shape home, the small ones are, remind me, only $20. And all of the larger ones range between $100 and $150. So they're just crazy affordable if you wanted to make a new friend and bring them home.
Yes.
So I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your work with us. And
Thank you.
thank you. So hi, Risa. I love it that your dress is on the spectrum that you've displayed. That's amazing. So this is Risa Friedman. She is showing photographs with us. And I have followed your work on Instagram for a while, and I love that you are kind of, as a photographer, an urban landscape color hunter. Love that. And then when you started talking about the exhibit and you sent your statement, you referenced your own personal relationship to photography and everything else as a collector. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So I've always been a collector since I was a little girl and collected dolls and doll clothing, and I always organized everything. I loved organizing. I can spend hours and hours organizing things, and color is one of the main ways I've always just seen how to organize things. And so once I started taking photography, and actually I was doing, before I started doing photography, I was doing more paper arts and collage, and I was really interested in color then. So the color thing naturally passed on to the photography, but I found I would naturally start playing with them in terms of putting colors together, either contrasting colors or colors that were similar. And it's almost like collecting cards or something. Like I have two sons, one is really into Magic the Gathering, and the other is into Pokemon, and they collect their cards and they'll spend hours rearranging them in different ways, and that's what I often do with my own art. And so the way you see it now, it'll probably never be this way again if I were to rehang these. So this time I took kind of like a diagonal approach to the color progression. So it goes from purple to pink to orange to yellow. But next time I might do it vertically or horizontally. I'm always playing, and I love how the way you rearrange them kind of changes the pieces. So the pieces, by putting them together, kind of turn into something different, and then the way you arrange them turns them into something even more different. So you might notice more lines or shadows or something else pops up depending on how you arrange them.
I just love how organic it feels. That, like, even though the majority of them are man-made constructions, there's a sense that there's a soft flow from one color to the next, or there's little hints or pops of adjacent colors that make the full installation feel organic and natural. I love that. I love the amount of thought that went into that planning, so thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Where are they taken? Is that their groupings, or are they?
Yeah, most of them are Denver, but obviously, that's obviously Leadville, and there's a couple. We went to Leadville beginning of the summer, so some are from there. This is Arizona, my house. That one's actually from Italy last summer, but the majority of them are Denver. And I love the as Denver changes, I find what happens a lot of times I take photos of buildings and then the building is torn down or renovated. And so I look at reusing them and cleaning them up as sort of a way to keep the building alive.
Yeah.
So that's something that's been nice. It's helped me deal with the changes that are happening in Denver.
Well, thank you.
Denver.
Oh, and there's two collages.
Right.
Two of the group are collages.
These are collages, and actually, these are from the same photograph.
Nice, cool.
For our collectors out there, these are also for sale affordably, and they are printed in limited editions, right? So it's 1 of 5.
For the prints, the collages are one-off.
Right, the collages are only 1 of each. So I think only $60 for a print. Fantastic. And 90 framed.
Yeah.
So something straight off the wall from the exhibit you could take home for 90. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you to the artists that have joined us today. So Risa and CHARIS and Steven over here. And we're going to go to Steven's last piece. And then I am going to run upstairs to our Studio C pop-up. And then our last person we're going to visit is our artist in residence, Barbara Rudloff. I believe she is getting ready to paint. And I am going to run up the stairs, like literally. So thank you so much, guys, for sharing your work with us and sharing your process and your thoughts on color. And we will probably see you on the way down. So these are the stairs to our Studio C. So typically Studio C is for our art classes. Right now we are not having any art classes due to COVID. And Diane Kramer is here with her fantastic jewelry. And I'm just gonna walk around first to just show you the amount of work that she has and the variety. And as I'm doing this, Diane, what kind of material do you work with?
Well, I do a little bit of everything. You'll find some pieces that I do with leather, and I do some metal smithing, like this is hand-forged fine silver.
Fantastic.
But by far, my favorite material, and the one that most of my work is made from, is polymer clay. And one of the reasons I love polymer clay is that you can do anything with it and make it look like anything. Like this piece looks ancient, like an ancient rune or something. But then this piece is all shiny. And again, this one looks kind of old and weathered, and this one looks sort of ethnic, and they're all made from the same material. And the great thing about polymer also is it's compatible with so many different art materials. You can apply paint to it, ink, foils, leaves, just all kinds of things. And I use them all. And it's really fun to experiment and to get all different effects from the same material.
Well, fantastic. So did you have a lot of this inventory before COVID, or did you?
Actually, I did have a lot of it before COVID. What I found I spent a lot of time on during COVID was adjusting my sales practices, because I haven't done any live craft shows or art shows or anything this year. So I've been focusing on getting my website up and running and building the capability to sell online. So I do have an online shop now, which I didn't have before.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So if somebody was to miss your pop-up, and you are actually here until Sunday, so if you want to go see Diane's stuff, please either come tonight or come Saturday during our open hours from 12 to 5, or you can make an appointment on Sunday. But if you manage to miss her show, Diane, what is your website that they can shop from?
My website is my name, DianeKramer.com. And Kramer is spelled weird. It's Kremer. And I have it on my business cards. And it's on the Firehouse Gallery website as well.
Okay, well, fantastic. Thank you so much for bringing your work here. And I really encourage everyone to, if you have a chance, come and see her stuff. Diane, what are your price points?
I think the least expensive item I have is about $20, and the most expensive is around $58, $68. Oh, except for the fine silver, those are $125 because of the material.
Well, that is very reasonable. And if you have anyone that is special in your life, or maybe even a gift for yourself that you want to get, make sure you come down and see Diane's work. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Elaine.
And Diane is actually an artist member. So we have a artist membership where we support local creatives. So whether they're photographers, fine artists, sculptors, jewelry artists, we have a program for artist members, and we offer them social events, networking events, business skills events, and here we are, the artists hanging out. Okay, and we are coming back here to see our artist in residence, Barbara Rudloff. Ta-da! So here is Barbara. She actually finished a painting this afternoon, and I can always tell because I hear hammers. I hear hammering, and I think, oh goodness, yay, there's a new one. So I have to run back here and come see it. So I'm going to give you a quick peek, but I'm going to zoom away really fast because we want you to come see the whole show in September. So with me. Yes, and Nate is going to be in our South Gallery, and he is a quilter, and we're very excited to see his work. And he's also a new Longmont resident, right?
Soon to be.
Soon to be. Fantastic. So we are very happy to have you in the community, and we are very happy to have you in our South Gallery. What are you working on today?
At the moment, I am working on my friend Jill. She works for Congressman Joe Neguse, and she was on Boulder City Council for a while, and I'm just getting ready to start her. So this moment is always exciting when I'm working with starting from the drawing and basically filling it out with the paint and seeing where it goes. But yeah, it's always exciting when I get to put a nail in the wall and hang one up.
I always know that's the sign. Yeah. And I'm actually going to show you guys one thing. So these are Barbara's paintings, and I want to zoom in on hers, and especially the eyes, because I want to let you guys know about an opportunity to take a lesson workshop, an oil workshop with Barbara coming August 26th. So you can come to an oil workshop with Barbara, paint and eye workshop. And so it's very soon. It's on Eventbrite. It's on our website. So if you want to learn from a master eye painter, then sign up. I will be here as well because I want to learn.
And it's all experience levels. I will be giving, I'll be providing a little canvas that already has a drawing on it. So you don't even have to, we'll just be concentrating on color mixing and how to place the paint and talking about form and stuff like that. So it's any skill level. So I encourage you to come and take a lesson. It should be really fun. Get out of the house, you know.
Yes.
So.
Yes, and it's a small class, so we'll be wearing our masks, and we're going to be as safe as possible and distanced in the main gallery. Yep. All supplies are provided, so you do not have to have, correct? Yep. Is that right?
Exactly. That's why I wanted an in-person class, was so that you didn't have to worry about buying supplies and then having all this stuff around the house and not knowing what to do with it or whatever. Just come and, give it a shot. See what you think.
Fantastic. Well, cool. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nate, for stopping by and coming to see the space. Hopefully we'll get to chat with you guys later on and maybe stop in and see you painting as well. Bye, guys. Thank you. So I am going to do just a quick walkthrough just so you guys can see. I know we were focusing on the artists. So this is CHARIS, FLESHNER's soft sculptures, and moving on to Risa's photography and collages. So obviously when you're viewing something through a screen, you know, it does change the color a lot. And as this is a show on color, I encourage you, if you are downtown, to come and see our space. So thank you very much for checking out our live stream. We are going to shut down the live stream now, and we are going to move to an in-person event. So hopefully we will see some of you very soon. Thank you very much. Once again. Yay! My name is Elaine Waterman. I'm the executive director here at the Firehouse Art Center. We wanted to thank our sponsors, SCFD, Colorado Humanities, Longmont Rotary, and other wonderful sponsors in our community that support arts and culture and arts education for all. Thank you so much for coming, and we hope to see you in the gallery soon.